Hey, y'all. Welcome back to this episode of the Yes We Can podcast. Today, I have Laura Dunlop on, a friend of mine. She is an entrepreneur, a marathon runner, a mom of 3, a wife. So much to her. I am so excited you've come on the show today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kira.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll share this now because I was really afraid to come on after my initial yes, I want to be on the show because I think what you've created is amazing and just spend time with you it's never a disappointment. And then as time went on, I was like, oh my God, I haven't lost anyone like you've experienced, like some of the guests that you've had in this chair. And the grief and what they've shared is, it's big. And, I kept going through my mind and eventually I know you follow Brene Brown as well. And she always says, comparison is the thief of joy. And I had never thought to use that line in terms of grief. And I was like, I always compare to someone's success or what someone's great at. And I was like, whoa, I wonder how many other women, how many other people out there don't share what they're experiencing or what they have experienced because it doesn't feel as big or as messy or as, as someone else's. And so I thought, well, then if nothing else, I need to be in this chair to just remind people that everyone's story can be shared and it doesn't have to be because it's not as big or it's different from someone else's.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I asked you to come on. You are well-loved here in St. Louis and beyond. And you've been through some stuff yourself. And I have all different types of viewers. And the people I select to come on the show are people who have been through something and turn their pain into purpose and are helping to create a better world and help others. And I know that's what you're doing. And so someone in this audience is probably listening and will hear your story and will relate and know that they're not alone. And if we can even affect one person's life from that, job done.
Successful podcast.
And I know we'll touch many more. And you have touched a lot of people. I mean, I knew you were someone special right when I met you. I don't even know where we first met. Lululemon, maybe?
Probably. I met a lot of people.
Yeah, because you were a store manager.
So I was with Lululemon. I was a suit dropout, I call myself. I left a career in finance and I started just as an educator at Lululemon because I was drawn to the company. Probably what brought you in the store and many originally, like what was on the shopper. And I was there for over 10 years and was every role in the store. And I got to travel and open stores and train so many people. And it was God, I could go on and on about how thankful I am for my experience within that company.
Yeah, you were a big deal there. Still are. It's so funny you say that because I, back when I lived in California, started my career out there, I used to get my suits from BCBG. And right across BCBG was Lululemon opened. And I always went into BCBG to get suits and they were like, you would love go to that store across the street. And I went across the street and I remember seeing the shopping bags and it said floss your teeth.
Yes.
Love your life.
Sweat once a day.
And I'm like, yes.
That bag, right?
Yes.
That bag drew you in.
The bag drew me in.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is amazing.
That's me. I want it to be me. And sucker for that shopper.
So I was a lover ever since. Oh my gosh, so funny. So Laura, let's talk about who you are, where you come from. Let's share your story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where do I begin?
Were you born?
I'm from here.
Okay.
I'm from St. Louis.
Okay.
So born and raised here. I escaped for a while and I went to school in Santa Barbara. I went to UC Santa Barbara.
Amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to the ocean. And I didn't think I was going to come back. So I graduated like a total, I don't know what I was thinking. I graduated in 3 years with a double major.
Not surprised. By the way,
shows you
this is who she is. That is who she is. So just buckle up.
And Santa Barbara is actually where I fell in love with running. Initially.
I fell in love with running in California too.
How do you not? You're outside. There was mountains, there was ocean. And then also with college, I gained 20 pounds my first year because
I'm sure I did
there
too.
was it was Freebirds. It was this delicious burrito shop. And I drink all the beer and then a bunch of burritos. And I was like, okay, something's got to change. But I started running. I fell in love with running out there. And that's something that's kind of been a beautiful sort of red thread throughout my whole life as well. So I worked out there in finance after I graduated and got a bunch of certifications for my finance and then eventually realized I wanted to move home.
Mm-hmm.
I missed St. Louis. So I moved back to be close to family. And I was working in finance again, which was actually, when I look back, when I do a lot of like, I'm sure you do like journaling and reflection on things, is there's like periods of my life when I'm in alignment and out of alignment. And coming back to St. Louis and working in finance, I was totally out of alignment. And I've kind of narrowed it down to like the three things that help me be. And there's one's passion. I need to be passionate about. I was not passionate about finance. A purpose, some purpose other than just myself. And then for me, there's always this little like performance piece to it. Just like growth, of excelling, of that constant challenge. And I often know, you're probably the same way, is I feel that in and out of alignment in my body first before I feel it anywhere else. And it shows up in ways even before I realize it. Like my body will tell me things, and there are times I won't listen to it, but that's usually the key indicator for where I'm at.
See, we have more in common than I even thought we had in common, because I fell in love with California and that's where I started my running career, and I ran marathons and half marathons.
California? You were
Northern California, but I had friends in Southern California. I was down there all the time.
Yeah.
I ran the Santa Barbara half marathon.
We could have run it the same year.
Probably.
We're going to have to go look.
We'll have to look.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've run over 75 marathons all over California and the country.
75?
I was
amazing.
Serious. But what you're saying is so true. You know your body so well when you're exercising and running. And I started eating cleaner out there, and I went gluten-free out there. And when you're training for a marathon, you know what you're eating and how it affects you.
Yeah.
You really do.
Totally.
So that's so interesting. And I want to talk about, just so people have an idea, like it hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows, right? Like back in high school, you had shared with me, you struggled a bit.
Yeah. So, and the struggles, it was never outward. Like if you looked at me, you would never know, right? I always had my shit together, like straight A's, all the things, whatever. But I actually started, it was probably 4th or 5th grade, an eating disorder. And it was
4th or 5th grade.
Yeah, it was early. I developed early too. Like I got like my period early.
Okay.
I mean, I had like D boobs in 8th grade. Yeah.
A little stick figure with D boobs.
And I was a little more hippie. But anyway, I was really advanced, and I think that made me bigger than a lot of the girls that were my friends. And so starting then, I like started restricting myself in what I ate when I was probably 10, 11 years old. And, that was something that carried through for a long time. And there's a gap between when it's interesting, because I know other women that have experienced this, like you can still perform really high without putting a lot of fuel in your body. And so my performance was great. And then I was thinner, and I would get so many compliments. It's like the same story you hear, like so many compliments, like you look so great. Like, what do you know? And which just drives you more and more. So the eating disorder, it started with just like severe restriction of things. This is also like, I blame like, not totally, but like, like this is like Tyra Banks had her show, like the supermodel show. Like there were so many external subliminal things here that we
were growing
faced.
up 100%.
Yes. So that went through high school, and it changed. Like, I mean, I dabbled in some bulimia. I dabbled in, kind of, I wouldn't let myself eat unless I worked out. And it's actually something my brother experienced as well.
Did you know at the time?
No, not at the time. He's actually a very big advocate on the board for the Missouri Eating Disorder Association.
That's amazing.
Now. Yeah. So he speaks out about it, and he's a huge advocate, especially for males.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, because males don't talk about it as often.
You never hear.
No, and he's so great. He shares his story, and he goes into schools, and he talks to them and about how it can show up too. So
I love that.
Yeah. So it was something, that, and I think it goes along. Like we're both like very driven. We're type A.
Yeah.
Individuals in control.
Yeah.
Right? That control piece.
Yeah.
So it went, all the way through college, kind of off and on. It had its peaks, it had its highs. And it really wasn't until when I got to work with Lululemon, Lululemon was like, when that came into my life and where the company was, the mission was to create leaders for the world. And black stretchy pants just happened to keep the lights on. But it was the first time anyone in my life held up a mirror to my face. Not like for real, but like,
yeah.
you know.
Yes.
And made me reflect on myself.
Really?
Oh, like, and it was like, I was like, oh, there was some like cringe, you know, when you think back on like cringe moments of like things, I was like, I did that, and like those mistakes and the things and like how I treated people. Or like, I always just think I'm like, my lack of just like the choices I made. And Lululemon was about personal responsibility. It was about things like integrity. I'm like, how many times? And this big section, I remember Chip Wilson was on there, and his voice telling us like, you know, like even just like saying you'll do something and not doing it and how you break it again. And there were so many points in my life, I'm like, God, I've broken things. And but that whole experience within Lululemon, it oddly, like that's like what got me out of like my
It changed you.
Yeah, because it had me face
wow.
that actually, which anyone I've talked about eating disorders, I'm like, it's never about the food. There's like something deeper in my experience. And Lululemon helped me like uncover what that was and like address those things and change something at like the core of who I was, which.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. It's just you and your brother, or you have other siblings?
I have a sister as well.
Okay.
So I have a younger sister.
Okay.
So far she's unscathed from any.
Amazing.
Caitlin, I think you're.
Where is she at?
She's here too.
Awesome.
So she's like one of like, I'm close with my whole family.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. They're all here, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. So that was, you know, the one part of it that was just an ongoing battle. And I think it never goes away for people. There's always, you know, that's always in the back of your mind and something. It's a part of who you are. And the body keeps the score, right?
There's a book.
Yeah.
Book about it.
Someone wrote about that.
Yeah. So what did your parents have any idea? What were they thinking?
No.
They had no idea.
No, like, and they were amazing parents. So like, it's not, this isn't like no, like they had people, I think that, at least in my experience, you're really good at hiding it. Like you're really good at hiding it. I think anyone with a disease, right? Like you learn how to hide things from those around you. So no, they didn't have a fair shot.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you made it through.
Thanks.
And here we are now, and you're, okay, so after college, you came back home, joined Lululemon, had
I had finance, and then that was like the little figuring my life out there. That was like, and then I found Lululemon. I quit, before finding Lululemon, I quit my job in finance because I hit this like bottom point, and I knew there were times in the middle of the day I would go home, I was in my suit, and I would just lay on my bed and like fall asleep. Like I was exhausted all the time. Like I just didn't have I wasn't me. And eventually I realized I was like, okay, like nothing's going to change unless I change this situation. So I quit my job and didn't know what I was going to do. And then my husband, now at the time, I was dating him. His cousin owned a Lululemon franchise in Santa Barbara.
Come on.
Of all places. And there was only a few franchises they did. And he was like, you should actually check this Lululemon company out. And you should talk to Matt. So we were in Santa Barbara and we were on a hike. And I was asking Matt all these questions because I didn't want to go work retail. Right? I'm like, I graduated college. I had all these degrees. Like, I'm wearing a suit and pantyhose. Like, I'm going to go work. And hearing about where Lululemon was at that time and what they put into leadership growth and development, I was like, that's it, I'm going in. So everyone thought I was insane, right? Because I call my parents, like, I got a job at Lululemon, I'm making $12 an hour. And, you know, I'm maybe going to work 30 hours a week. But I think this is the right place for me. And that's where my career at Lululemon, and like I said, it was a huge shift for me. Which you don't need Lululemon for. It was more about the tools, and it was about all of the personal development that I received there that forever changed the trajectory of where I am.
Which Lululemon?
I was at Frontenac.
So was Frontenac the first Lululemon store?
Yeah, it was a showroom in the Central West End.
Okay.
And then Frontenac was the first store for quite some time.
Yeah, because Kyle and I lived in the Chase, so I used to go down to that Lululemon right there. Okay, so you started at Frontenac, and you stayed at Frontenac the whole time,
The whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, which was a gift because that place was a community. And gosh, I can't say enough good things just about the way it was. Lululemon let us run the store like it was our store. It was entrepreneurship was a core value. So we got to decide. They were just like, here's your bucket of money. Here's your bucket of labor hours. Here's your product. Make stuff happen.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was so neat because we just got to like go in the community. It was grassroots marketing. It was
I love that.
It was so fun to be there at the time.
I bet.
And then on the side, it was like 80% sell clothes and it was 20% like, hey, like, what are your personal goals? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you want like your life's purpose to be?
Oh my
And to give those tools to 20-something-year-olds, it was like life changing.
Yes.
And then the pants kept the lights on and it was fun. And that really, it created a culture where our turnover was so low, and that was the place I wanted to grow up and be. So I moved from an educator to a key leader to assistant store manager to store manager. And then I got to travel. Like I opened the biggest store in New York on Fifth Avenue. Yeah. And I got to do some like really neat projects and train so many other store managers. It was an incredibly fulfilling job. And that's where I had all three of my babies. So I joke they were like cooked at Lululemon. Because,
well, they were.
They were literally cooked in a Lululemon.
Oh my gosh.
Probably why they came out so crazy, all like the loud music at the time. And
so funny.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. And as a crazy note, because there's a lot of women that listen to this, okay, I have to tell you what the maternity benefits were at Lululemon.
Let's hear it.
So for the first two, it was 6 months maternity leave. Like you could take 6 months, come back, get
paid
your job
maternity
back.
Leave. Okay.
The third one, it was fully paid 6-month maternity leave.
Wow.
So when I had Drew, who's now 5, almost 6, I mean, I didn't work for 6 months and I got a paycheck just like I was working the entire time. How unbelievable is that?
Unbelievable. Wow. And it's because was it your tenure or was it the business?
You had to be there for more than 5 years and you could get it. Like they would just, I learned there, like if your life works, your work works. And they stood behind that.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So 10 years there. And then what happened? How and why did you leave?
So my plan was, this is also crazy. I like stacked so much time off. We got sabbaticals. So I took a 6-week sabbatical right before I delivered my third, when he was due, which happened to be COVID, which was an interesting time. And then I took my 6-month sabbatical, and then they were offering a 6-month COVID leave to take care of family. And then I took my year-long sabbatical. So I was technically, and I was going to go back. And then when I was gone for 2 years, I was like, I can't go back. So I would say this was probably one of the hardest. It was really hard for me. And it was such an odd, looking back, it was crazy because, I was so lucky to be able to stay home with my 3 boys, like incredibly lucky. And it was my choice, right? I got to choose and I was lucky. But leaving a career, I didn't even think of it as a job, like leaving a place. You've heard me talk about that I loved.
It's like your second family.
Where, I had a team of 100 people, where I knew I was making a big impact, where I was lit up to go to work every single morning, to all of a sudden not have that. That was that was hard. And I didn't even realize it for a while that I was that hit by that loss.
Yeah. It's a similar thing to when I started having children, leaving my career and having babies. And I didn't, we decided I wouldn't work. And I had severe postpartum anxiety.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden I went from running marathons, opening a business, having a successful career to home with the baby.
Yeah. Right.
What now? First of all, what do I do with this baby?
It's wild.
It's wild.
And I didn't realize how hard it was until one day my husband Connor came home, and I think he made some, bless his soul, some comment about the state of the house or something, and I just lost it. And it was
come on, Connor,
tears, and it was it was more like that sort of response.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not fair. I'm like, you go to work every day. I'm here with these 3 all the time. You get to close your door. You're in a quiet office. And these 3, just tell me what I'm doing wrong all day. And then you come home and you point out something that's wrong. I'm like, this is not okay. And I'm like, nobody tells me I'm doing a good job. Was it?
And you're used to be a high achiever and goals, meeting goals, and
all the metrics.
Yes.
And to all of a sudden go to nothing and to have no one, it's such an invisible role.
100%.
Especially during COVID when you literally couldn't go anywhere and I had all 3 under 4 at home. I'm like, nobody saw what I was doing. And it wasn't until I had that like cry breakdown where I realized, oh God, like this is bigger than I realized. And, and going through it, like I was numbing myself a lot with it too. Like I was drinking.
A lot of people were drinking.
And it was, it was to the point where I made it okay because I was never drunk. Like I was never, I had like a good effervescent removal of
worries.
Whatever pain I was going through, right? Like numbing of whatever it was. But goodness, I'm like, it was every day. Like at 4:00, I'm like, okay, like I've earned my drink because I survived these 3 psycho children. And it was a lot of numbing that was going on at the time too. And between the numbing and then my breakdown with Connor, it was good to break down. It made me realize this, and it also made me realize how unfair I was being to him as I was quietly comparing our lives, and like mad at him and he didn't even know it.
Yeah, resentful because he got to go live his life out in the world.
Right, which is not fair. Like he was taking care of and doing everything for our family. And it also, allowed me to articulate like what I needed from him differently. So I requested, I'm like, I need you to come home and you need to tell me what I'm doing well. Like that needs to be, you need to look for the things I've done well and I need to hear them from you because I'm not hearing them from anyone right now. And I gave him the analogy. I was like, I think this was like in my fury. I'm like, I don't go into your office and tell you all the things you're doing wrong in your office. And this is my office now. And you need to treat it that way was something that the conversation went on along like that. So that was one thing I'm really grateful for our relationship is not perfect, but we're able to communicate through those things where there's tension or there's something off. We're able to both come out and say, okay, hey, like that was emotional and here's what we need to go forward.
Awesome.
So that helped. And then kind of what helped me get out of my like numbing and how much I was drinking was Mark Spiewak. I brought him on as my run coach. And I actually, in my thought, when he doesn't know this, but when I was like, I need to stop drinking, like I knew I needed to stop, but I didn't have a purpose to stop. I didn't need to stop. Like as my kids at home, I didn't have to go to I was still fully functioning.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, if I train for a half with a coach, I'm going to do it without drinking and I'm going to see like how I feel and what happens. And that gave me that performance part I talked about and it gave me a purpose what's wild is when I talked about kind of the ups and downs and when I'm in and out of alignment, when I'm in alignment, I don't want to drink.
Yep.
Not because it's bad or like I actually like the taste. Like I love the taste of wine. I love the taste of all of it. I just don't want to cloud or numb when I'm in it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's also been like, I've realized this is like a huge indicator and especially now and like what I've been building and we'll get there. But like, I don't even want to because I'm like, no, I've got so many things I like need to do. Like I this can't get in my way.
Clear-minded.
Yeah.
Well, I obviously being in Northern California, I literally learned how to drink there. Fine wine. My palate was exquisite. But Kyle and I kind of bonded over that because he traveled the world and loved Spanish wines, and I introduced him to Northern California and Central California wines, and we didn't drink a lot, but we enjoyed it. And went wine tasting, all of that. But once the moment he was diagnosed, and I was pregnant and nursing, I had 3 kids in 3 years. So I didn't drink a ton, obviously. But the moment he was diagnosed with cancer, I was like, I'm done for those reasons. Because I needed to have a clear mind. I needed to be able to function and understand what was happening and help my children and help my family. And I didn't want to lean on that. So I just was like, and I haven't drank since. I just prefer to only put the things that I want in my body in my body.
Yeah.
Right? And alcohol doesn't help. It's toxic. And not, for all of you who drink totally fine, it's the 80-20 rule, 80% the good stuff, 20% you can play with. But me personally, And especially watching my husband fight for life for so long. Life is so precious. I'm like, it's just not worth it. And I haven't since.
Yeah. And that's like what you said. It's different than like being against it. It's just like, it's a clarity and it's a thing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also was afraid and still am afraid that it's going to mess with my mental health. So I was in a really depressing situation and I'm like, why would I put a depressant in my body? And even to this day, I'm like, oh, maybe, I'll have a glass of wine, but I'm like so scared that I'm going to be anxious the next day or it's going to send me into a depression, right? And so I'm like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And you've got, I think, what's also like, you have a big purpose right now.
Mm-hmm.
On top of, the 3 kids, this is your purpose and raising money for you have a really big purpose that you are determined to show up for. And it's, there's something to that, I think. Like,
having a purpose and feeling, and I've seen you thrive, the last 10 years. I mean, and you're serving your purpose now, right? And God, I always say, everyone, if you're here on this earth today, God has a purpose for you. You are meant to be here. There's a reason we're all here. And our job is to live life together for each other.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we're all connected. So, I knew from the moment I met you, I'm like, there's something special about this girl. Something special. So, so how did you find Mark Spiewak?
He was a Lululemon run ambassador. We had met with him before.
Okay.
And I had run a lot before, but never had a coach. Like I accidentally qualified for Boston. Like the first time I ran a marathon, I was like, oh, someone's like, you qualified. I'm like, for what? Like for Boston. So I'd never officially trained. So
did you run Boston?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I ran it in 2011 and then I'm running it again this April.
You are?
Yeah. So with Mark's help, I ran, I hadn't run a full marathon in 15 years. I ran one in January and I ran it 25 minutes faster.
Wow.
No,
Awesome.
15 minutes faster. How much faster? I ran it in 3 hours and 14 minutes.
That's incredible.
So it was 15 minutes faster than my 25-year-old self with everything. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. And he's like a big help to that. And the community he's built with Spiewak training and Spiewak racing has been awesome.
There's how big is that?
I don't even know how many now.
Lots of people.
Yeah.
Around this community.
Yeah. So,
what marathon did you run? What was your first marathon?
My first marathon was the St. Jude's Marathon.
In Memphis?
Yeah, and that's when I qualified. It was my first marathon.
Awesome.
And this is like before there was like I didn't have a watch. I would just like run. Like it was like some like Nike something. Like I didn't know my split. I didn't know anything. I just would go outside and run. And then I'd go on like mapmyrun.com and like plug it in and guess how many miles I ran and how fast it was. So
oh my gosh,
it's come a long way. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Memphis half, and then what was the next marathon? How many have you run?
I've run 3. I did the Memphis, and I did Boston and New York, and then I was throwing out my back consistently in my 20s. I started throwing my back out. So I hit pause on marathon running, and I teach Pilates. So that was kind of what got me into Pilates. And wanting to be a teacher in that was that helped change a lot of my movement patterns. My first teacher, Melissa Clark, she told me you're doing a sit-up wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm doing a sit-up wrong? I've been doing sit-ups forever. And so I went down this huge rabbit hole. I got my certification out of the Pilates Center in Boulder.
Okay.
So it's a 2-year Pilates certification.
Wow.
It was over 1,000 hours of, if I was going to help people, I wanted to have all the right
Of course you did.
tools to help
Go
them.
big or go home.
And Pilates was, I actually started teaching Pilates. I got the certification after Drew was born. I went through the certification because I knew I needed something in my life. And that fulfilled the piece where I got to actually help people again.
That's the exact same thing I did with Legree.
Yeah, to help people move.
While I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I needed.
That's right. I forgot you were at the plank.
Oh, yeah.
Plank. They're at 10 years. She's hitting.
I know. She's incredible too. I wonder if I'm meeting her for coffee. I should see if she'll come on my podcast.
Brooke, okay.
Yeah.
There's, so that was great. And that was like being able to see people feel different in their body and feel good in their body was, and I still teach.
Where do you teach now?
So I'm still at Central Studio at Clayton and Hanley, and then I'm at Palm Health.
You are at Palm?
Yeah, I get to teach at Palm one day a week, and those are my favorite ladies.
I love that.
Yeah, and everyone, like, they're just awesome. So that has been a great way. And when we talked about body sensations and things too, I think Pilates and yoga are great ways to really be more in tune with your body and what you're feeling and those sensations. Those practices are very mindful.
And you also eat healthy. And I've known that about you, and you post about it. And I obviously am a health and wellness coach and believe that, and this is from running marathons and half marathons and training. You know, I did a couple triathlons, which I know you did as well. But I feel like if you fuel your body with the food that God gave us, right, from the ground, I believe, you know, I eat animal, you know, I eat meat, but you will feel better and be your best authentic self.
Totally.
Mentally, physically, if you fuel it properly, right? Don't you? I mean, again, you tell us, because I know you feed your kids and you make amazing.
We're
healthy.
similar in just, it's probably the same way currently thinking about alcohol is, you know, what you put in your body changes what comes out of your body. And I've just always believed in like simple, like what's real food? Like what are the vegetables? Let's add olive oil, some salt and pepper to them because they taste good on their own. And then how do we just eat as much of those as we can? And I'm not like a crazy mom. Like you walk into my pantry, like you'll see Doritos, you'll see you'll see all the things there. And I've always just, it's been probably because I had an eating disorder. For my kids, everything's always available to them. So, and there's not a bad food. There's just foods that make you feel certain ways. So for my kids, they'll be like, can I have that bag of chips? And I'm like, okay, you will have practice in an hour. How is that going to make you feel? And they stop and they think about like, okay, I'm going to have a bar instead. I'm like, okay, if that's going to make you feel better. So that's how we talk about food.
Oh, I love that.
In our house is how is it going to make you feel?
Yeah.
I'll never forget my son went to, my oldest went to like a Bobby McCormick basketball camp. And if anyone's kids have ever gone there, you leave them with cash and they have free reign at the whole concession stand. And I picked him up after the first day and like all his money was gone. I'm like, what'd you buy? He's like, I had 2 Dr. Peppers and I had a bag of Nerds and I had this and like a donut. And I'm like, well, how do you feel? He's like, I feel so sick. And I was almost grateful.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, now you know, like that doesn't feel good in your stomach. And like that was his lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
So that's kind of how we do it around there. And then I believe like I cook 5 to 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week sometimes, just because it's always simple. I'm like, there is like a protein. I only eat fish. I don't eat meat. But I'll cook meat for my kids. So there's like chicken, there's some fish, and then they love roasted Brussels sprouts, like roasted sweet potatoes, like a noodle and a rice. And that really, it's like that basic and always a salad. And we've always I do family style dinner. So the kids feel empowered to choose their plate. So I'm not telling them
I love that.
What to eat. There's options on the table and they can pick and choose. And then it kind of has given them this like, well, I'll try it because they're not committing to it. And it's their choice. I'm letting them be in control of what they're putting on their plate to a degree. Because I put the choices down. But
wow, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Makes me rethink how I feed my kids because I tell them, well, I say a little sugar is okay, a lot of sugar is not.
Yeah, I mean, they learn that.
And they have a lot of sugar, way too much in my mind. But I do the same thing. We do a protein, a vegetable, some sort of starch. But I just make it for them and I make them eat
what's on their plate.
Their protein. And they have to, they don't have to, I always make sure they eat until they're full.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like, there's no snacks, nothing else after this. So eat. So, but yeah, I love that method, the way you go about that. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Now, where did you meet Connor?
We met at Sweat, the boxing gym. Do you remember? Did you ever go to Sweat?
I've heard of it.
The boxing gym in Clayton. It no longer is there. We met. He like knew how hard I could hit from the beginning. We joke when he still wanted to date me. So, so we met there and we like secretly would like go on a few dates. But the gym at the time, it was the same like 15 people every time. Everybody like knew. And we started we hung out and then I never left.
I love
basically.
That. I love that. And what does he do?
He's in wealth management.
Okay.
With Mariner.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And what's your connection to Montana?
So his family has had a home there for 20 plus years. His mom and dad are both Canadian. And so the Whitefish, where they go, it's like, way up north near the Canadian border.
Beautiful.
There. Yeah, it's great there. So we head there in a couple of weeks with the boys, and it's like summer camp because it's all there's 22 of us that go in a house.
Wow, that's so fun.
And we all come out alive. Yeah. And so there's the adults, and there's 12 kids. So there's 17's the oldest, and my little Drew is 5 and the youngest. And they have it's the best summer memories for them together.
I bet. Yes. And that's another thing we have in common because Kyle's from Montana.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're going too in a couple weeks.
I know, and we're going to be there the same time, right?
I think so.
When are you going?
We leave on the 13th.
Oh, we'll high-five you maybe at the airport.
Okay. I know. Well, you're flying to Whitefish.
Kalispell.
Okay,
Kalispell. And you're Bozeman.
Yeah.
It's a big state.
I know. My kids, Kyle was he would have never left. He came here for Jones, obviously, Edward Jones, but he was a mountain man, Montana man through and through. So
I love that you guys go back.
Yeah. I want my kids to know anything and everything they possibly can about Kyle. He was a huge fisherman. He hiked, biked, skied, heli skied, all the things. So, I want my kids to know that and experience those things. So, yeah, it's fun. So we go back.
Special place.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so after Lululemon, you stayed home, raised the kids, got certifications, continued to run.
Yeah.
Taught
Pilates.
Pilates.
To run, taught my Pilates. And, life was good, but I was still missing.
Yeah.
I was still missing something like that. And it was actually in Montana where I landed kind of on my this granola recipe. So I was cooking, and it's all real food, and I couldn't find a granola that didn't upset my stomach because a lot of the fake sugars actually my gut doesn't like those. And then didn't want the real sugars. So I started playing with recipes, and I baked my original one in Montana, and the tray was gone within an hour.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Everyone was like, it's like crack. And I'm like, and actually my neighbor brought me a little thing of it, but it wasn't your original. It must have been a different one. And I'm like, oh, this is okay. I don't know what one it was. But then she left the original on my doorstep.
Everyone has a favorite.
I have to put it away.
I keep eating it like that. It's how it started, and everyone's like, you need to make this granola. So I'm like, okay, so I made my logo sitting at my mother-in-law's island in Montana, the 3 bear. I'm call it 3 bears because it's Montana, and the 3 bears for my boys. And then, I have a finance degree, so I start going through all the ingredients. I'm like, this granola is too expensive, because it's real food. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's this gluten-free oat, this coconut sugar, and these things are not cheap. And so I kind of gave up. And then I came home, and I would still bake it, and I would give it to friends. A mom takes my kids home, and I'm like, hey, thank you, Megan. Here's a bag. And pretty soon people are like, you need to do something with this granola. So I said, okay, fine. I'll make an Instagram page, and I'll open a Google Doc. I had a Google form. And I just was like, okay, Google form is live, and you can come pick it up on my porch. And it grew this was in September. This was in September.
Yeah.
And it was
this last year.
Yes. This it hasn't been a year. And it's been just friends telling friends.
It's been 6 months.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, it's blown up.
It is. It's crazy. And it grew from my porch and people telling their friends to, now we're I have a Shopify account, which I'm still figuring out all the things. But, we're in 7 different retailers right now. And we're working on new packaging that's FDA approved so we can keep growing even bigger. I've got someone doing the website, but all of that's happening. But what I wanted to make sure when this happened, I sat the boys down first, and I asked them, I said, okay, you guys, I think this could be a business. And I want to know, is that okay with you? You guys are the 3 bears. This is you on here. Is that okay? And I said, yeah. And I said, the second is I haven't really worked in a while. So this is, I'm going to have to do more things. And are you okay if we have a babysitter a couple times? And they said, yes. And then I said, okay, if we're going to do this, I want your help. I want to pick someone we can help with this. So I was like, it's our responsibility when we create something and it generates money and it does well, we get to give back. So I said, who do you all want to give back to? And they were like, well, kids. And I'm like, okay, well, what should we do? Like, and they throw in an idea. So we did research and we found the Buddy Fund, which I had never heard of. It's local. They provide sports equipment to kids that wouldn't have access otherwise. And they just built a playground at a school that never had a playground so kids can actually play. And they work with like Jackie Joyner Kersey's. They work with Matthew. They work with a lot of other organizations. But I said, okay, then that's what we'll pick. And so $1 from every bag we sell of the chocolate cherry goes right to the Buddy Fund.
Oh, I love
And so
that.
we've given them, I don't know, over like $1,100. We just were able to work with Companion, and we just wrote a check to Ollie Hinkle for $1,000 this week. We've given to Pedal the Cause. We've given to Athletes for Animals. So our give back has already been like over $3,000 since September, which to me is
amazing.
That was like, you guys, like, this is what we get to do, and it's teaching my boys about community and the impact we can make. So that was baked in from the get-go. I'm like, this is a part of it. Their permission. I know. Yeah. All of it was there. And so it's just from there been like a really fun adventure. And it reminds me a bit of Lululemon in that Lululemon was great, but it wasn't just about the pants. It was about everything else. For me, the granola is cool, but it's the people I've gotten to meet. It's the connection. It's the people we've impacted in the community that we're building. And that is like, I am lit up for it. It brings me so much joy.
Oh, I love that. And yes, for your children, teaching them those life lessons now to give back to the community.
And they do work. Like like this morning, like they put boxes in their backpacks and they biked up to Schnarr's because there's a UPS and they deliver all the anyone orders online, they take those boxes to UPS.
I love that.
They wrote the handwritten notes in them. We put a handwritten note in everyone we ship, and they wrote them this morning. So they're like in it. They're a part of it.
This is amazing. Yeah. And to see their mom working, an entrepreneur, and getting them involved. I mean, those are lessons, they're priceless.
I always joke. I'm like, I'm trying not to raise assholes.
Fair goal. Yes.
And this is like a really big tool. And like, this is, because they don't hear me. They don't, like it goes out. It's
of course.
It's like the actions we take and what we do together.
100%.
And, that's what this business has been really cool to be able to do with them.
Amazing. And Connor's obviously been super supportive. And
yeah, I mean, he's just like, of course, like he's like,
you would.
He's like, you retire and you start a company. He's like, you say you're done running, then you like run a marathon. Yeah. So he's used to putting up with everything I throw at him.
Bet. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Now you guys have how many different flavors?
We have 4.
4 flavors.
So we have original, which is like pistachios, coconut chips, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, goji berries, chocolate cherries. Like we use whole nuts. It's whole cashews, whole pecans. It's Zen basil seeds, which I know you know what those are, right?
No.
What? You don't know what a Zen basil?
No, tell me.
Yeah, you're like a health person.
I know.
A Zen. Well, it's like a basil seed. I use the brand Zen because it's like clean, but it is like 2 times the fiber, 2 times the protein of a chia seed.
What?
It is like a super powered chia seed.
Where do you get those?
I buy them direct from their site because I buy them in bulk because I put them in my chocolate cherry. Yeah. So I made every recipe like how I cook for my family.
Yeah.
So like, there's around 9 grams of like real protein in each half cup serving. About 5 grams of fiber in each. Yeah, because it's real.
Half cup?
Food. Yeah, half cup.
Well, I eat a little more than half cup.
Everybody, I eat a little more too. But you probably didn't notice a crash. Sometimes you eat granola or sugar and you like are starving again. This keeps you satiated because we use, I learned this after I was using it. Only 15% of granolas use extra virgin olive oil. And we're one of them. Just because that was in my pantry and that's what I feed my family. So I'm like, why would I use
something else?
Anything else?
How many? You have worker? You guys have a commercial kitchen now and people working
we got
for
a
you?
kitchen. I have a couple employees. And what's fun is actually I've got some great moms that work, so they're other stay-at-home moms.
Love it.
So I've got like Kathy, Catherine, and Tia are my gals, and like we work around summer schedules, and it's been a good way. Like for them, like they get to work too within like, I'm like, okay, guys, we're working 8:30 to 1. So we can all go to drop off. We can go to the kitchen and then we can all run an errand before we pick our kids up.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's, St. Louis, from my experience being a transplant, is an awesome community. There's a lot of really powerful, amazing female entrepreneurs and everyone supports each other. I mean, I have felt nothing but support coming here, and I'm a transplant.
Yeah, people want to help here, and
yes,
I think people love to get behind anyone who's who has the purpose and who's got a passion behind something. And I think what the granola has really like helped me, it's kind of just like refined myself. You know, it's like I didn't have to. It's not a recreate. Like I don't have to like remake anything. It just kind of like, oh, like that's where I am. Like that's me, and that's like the full expression of it, which I think is so important for women. And like anyway, you know, is just like, what is that like makes you feel like you,
right?
And how do you follow that? Like, okay, that's the feeling. How do I do more of that? And that's like what this has been is like.
Well, it is completely blown up. So where can people find it in St. Louis?
So you can find it at the Annie Gunn's, the Smokehouse, their market. You can find it at Companion, Ledoux, the cafe, the Kirkwood Farmers Market. That's open 7 days a week. You can find it at the Butchery, which is next to, like, attached to Truffles, Palm Health, Little's Loft Cafe. Have you heard of that?
Cute. I've heard of it.
Oh my gosh. Anyone that has little ones listening needs to go to Little's Loft Cafe because I wish we had it when our kids were even littler. Yeah. And then starting June 8th, we'll be at the Women's Exchange.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's like the first official announcement of that. That's not fully released.
That's so fun. And then many more to come.
Yeah. So that's the goal. And there's some like exciting stuff in the works and happening that is... Stay tuned.
So fun. Yeah. So where can they find you? They can order online from all over the country?
Yeah. So we just shipped out 2 boxes to Virginia today. 3bearsgranola.com. We just dropped our first newsletter.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was like, it's been so fun. So,
and I want to know more about the do-gooder part. I want to know more, like, you know what I mean? Like, we can talk offline, but
yeah,
I want to know more about that because that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you get like it's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing organizations that can use our support and to be able to highlight them and do little things that you know help uplift others.
Yeah. And do-gooder wasn't what I was trying to say. You know what I meant.
You.
Okay.
I followed you right there. It's a good word now.
Yeah. Do-gooder. The do-good part. You know what I mean? Wow. Thank you so much for coming on.
That went so fast. Thank you. I feel like we'll go talk for
hours exactly. I know. We have to catch up. We keep saying that. It really was a pleasure having you on. And I am totally in love with the granola and I'm sold. So I can't wait to try the other flavors. And I hope all you listeners listening, if you haven't tried it, you must. It is delicious and healthy all at the same time. So I always ask my guests, Laura, right before we sign off, if there's one thing you wanted to leave with the people listening today, one thing, what would it be?
I think the one thing would be, there's like that self-work piece and making time. I know, and that sounds really hard, but like it's hard to make space to hit pause on the chaos of your life and just kind of like reflect on like where you are and whether it's a body sensation part or that's like, you know, where in your life, like what's bringing you that joy and how do you get more of that joy? Because I don't like through all the like the ups and downs of like alignment and in alignment and such, like I would tell, I'd use this analogy is like, we're always still ourselves. We sometimes just change like the sunglasses we're wearing, right? Like sometimes they're yellow, like then we see through and things are like, okay, it's positive. And sometimes they're like a little more like darker or blue. And you kind of have the power when you focus inward on yourself to change those shades that you're wearing. And I'll tell that to my kids sometimes.
That's
like,
beautiful.
I'm like, what color are those glasses on your eye? You know, and they're like, and it gives them like a color to use, like for like happiness or upset. And I'm like, okay, well, what'll change your glasses from a blue to a yellow?
You should totally write a book with your kids about that. Seriously. Done.
It's adults too. We need it, right? Just adults like being aware of like, how am I viewing this right now? What's my perspective? What's my lens that I'm viewing this situation in the world? And
what a great message. And truly for your kids to grow up with. I think you should write a book. Add it to the list.
I'll put it on the list.
You put it on the list?
Thanks, Kira.
Of course. Thank you. And thank you to all of those who have listened today. It was a pleasure having Laura on. You can find her online. Order granola for you, your friends. Send it to whomever. It's amazing. Thank you for listening today. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Yes We Can podcast, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the in spa.